Hello friends, today's video is part 4 video of Indian National Congress sessions. In the last 3 videos, we covered all the sessions from 1885 to 1925. And now we will start with the Indian National Congress session 1926, which was held in Guwahati. In April of the same year, the new Viceroy Lord Irwin came to India. This year, the Public Service Commission was established, whose job was to recruit civil servants in India. There are two special things about the 1926 Guwahati session. The first thing is that this was the first session that was being held in the northeastern region of India. And the second thing was that here for the first time the whole pandal that was arranged for the people to stay, everything was done in khadi tents. Actually, in previous videos also, we had discussed that ever since Gandhiji joined Congress, a lot of stress was being given on khadi. In fact, for the first time in 1921 also, tents were made of khadi only. But the special thing about 1926 session was that here the entire arrangement was done in khadi. In fact, it was said that the delegates would also have to come wearing khadi clothes. After that, the next session took place in 1927. Which took place in Madras. This year, the British government appointed the Simon Commission, which did not have a single Indian member. So the Congress passed a resolution to boycott the Simon Commission, saying that we would boycott the Simon Commission at every stage and in every form. Apart from this, the Indian National Congress objected to Indian troops being sent to any foreign country and passed a resolution against it, and also proposed that Sindh should be separated from Bombay. The next year, that is in 1928, the Simon Commission came to India. This commission was opposed everywhere, and in one such protest, Lala Lajpat Rai was badly injured, and due to these injuries, he died. In view of the opposition of the Simon Commission, the British government gave a proposal to the Indians. They said that, okay, if you also want to propose a constitutional reform, then the British government will consider the reports given by you along with the Simon Commission. In such a situation, Nehru report was prepared under the leadership of Motilal Nehru. And in this year, that is in 1928, Motilal Nehru was elected as president. And in this session, the recommendation of Nehru report was accepted, in which Dominion status was demanded. Within 2 years, All India Youth Congress was also formed in this session. Another major event took place this year, and that was the Bardoli Satyagraha, in which the British government had to bow before Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and had to accept his demands. The next year, that is in 1929, the session was held in Lahore, where Jawaharlal Nehru was the president. This was the first session where a person was elected as Congress president without any election. It was said that under the influence of Motilal Nehru, Jawaharlal Nehru was elected as president here. This year, the British government appointed a committee related to education, the Hartog Committee, which submitted its report. And Jinnah sent his 14 points to the British government. But more important than all these things, if something happened in this session was that here the Purn Swaraj resolution, that is complete independence, was passed. In the 1928 session itself, we saw that Congress was demanding Dominion status, and in just 1 year, Congress changed its demand from Dominion status to Purn Swaraj, that is complete independence. So this was the most important thing of this session. And it was said here that from now on, every year we will celebrate 26th January as Independence Day. And if the British government does not accept the demand for our complete independence, then civil disobedience movement will be started. This year, an important event was also that Mother Teresa had come to India. In the next year, that is in the year 1930, there was no Congress session. The reason was that the Congress had started the civil disobedience movement and all the leaders were in jail. We had seen in the video of the civil disobedience movement that after reaching Dandi, the march was done till Dharasana. This year, the first roundtable conference was also held, but the Congress leaders boycotted it, because it was not possible that on one side you are doing civil disobedience movement and on the other side you are doing negotiations with the government. Two more important events took place this year, Allahabad Address and Chittagong Armory Raid. Next year, session took place in Karachi, where Vallabhbhai Patel was elected as president. Before the session, Gandhiji was released from jail. And at that time, his negotiations were going on with the Viceroy Lord Irwin. Lord Irwin wanted the civil disobedience movement to be stopped, and for this, he was doing negotiations with Gandhiji. Ultimately, a pact was signed between Gandhiji and Lord Irwin, which is called Gandhi-Irwin Pact. In this way, the civil disobedience movement also ended. Congress endorsed Gandhi-Irwin Pact in this session. It was seen as a victory of civil disobedience movement. And because this session took place in March, Gandhiji was nominated to represent Congress in the second roundtable conference, which will be held at the end of this year. In the same year, Bhagat Singh, Rajguru and Sukhdev were hanged by the British government. So in this Congress session, Congress praised the bravery and sacrifice of Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and Rajguru and said that we cannot favor any kind of political violence. Apart from this, the Karachi resolution was passed in this session, where Congress declared its policies on fundamental rights, national economic progress, principle of adult franchise, etc. In the very next month of this session, in April 1931, the new Viceroy Lord Wellington came to India, after which the next session was organized in Delhi in 1932. At the beginning of this year, Gandhiji returned disappointed from the second roundtable conference, and as soon as he arrived, he started the second phase of the civil disobedience movement. But this time, the British government was fully prepared. British government declared Congress as illegal organization and got Gandhiji arrested. This year, Madan Mohan Malviya was elected as the president of the Congress session. But note that now in the eyes of the British government, Congress is an illegal organization. So Madan Mohan Malviya was arrested on the way. The police attacked the delegates who were about to reach the session. But even then, 500 delegates reached the session. But in these circumstances, the session had to be cancelled. This session could not be held. And because Congress was considered an illegal organization, that is why it was not even invited to the third roundtable conference. In the same year, that is in 1932, some other important events also took place. The British government announced the Communal Award. Gandhiji sat on a fast in protest, and then between Bhimrao Ambedkar and Gandhiji, Pune Pact was signed in Yerwada jail. The next year, that is in 1933, the session took place in Calcutta, where Madan Mohan Malviya was supposed to be the president, but he was still in jail. So Nellie Sen-Gupta was elected as president. She was a British lady who had married Jitendra Mohan Sen-Gupta. Jitendra Mohan Sen-Gupta was basically considered Gandhiji's right hand and was with him in the non-cooperation movement. Nellie Sen-Gupta was also heavily involved in the non-cooperation movement with her husband. So she was also seen with a lot of respect in the Congress. This year, an important event also happened that Chaudhry Rahmat Ali had published a famous pamphlet named Pakistan Declaration. The word Pakistan was used for the first time in this pamphlet. These pamphlets were also circulated in the third roundtable conference. The next year's session was held in Bombay. The president was Rajendra Prasad. In the month of April this year, Gandhiji had suspended the civil disobedience movement. And the special thing about this session was that here some major changes were made in the constitution of Congress. This time the Congress has written in its constitution that if you want to become a member of the Congress, you will have to wear khadi. And at the same time, it was also said here that if you divide the number of members in the Congress by 500, then only that many delegates will be allowed in this session. Which means that there will be one delegate for every 500 members. Means, in a way, one delegate must have been representing 500 people in the Indian National Congress session. Next year, that is in 1935, the Government of India Act 1935 came, by which provincial autonomy was introduced. And now elections were to be held on its basis. So the Congress was busy preparing for the elections. So the Indian National Congress session could not be held this year. Next year, that is in 1936, the session was in Lucknow. Jawaharlal Nehru was elected as president. This year, Sindh was separated from Bombay. We had seen that in 1927 Madras session, Congress had demanded to separate Sindh from Bombay. In fact, Jinnah had also put this demand in his 14 points. So this demand was accepted in Government of India Act 1935. And due to this, in 1936, this separation took place. Here in this session, they promoted socialist ideas. After that, the next session took place in 1937. Here also Jawaharlal Nehru was elected as president. The special thing about this session was that this was the first session which took place in a village. In which village? Fazpur. Fazpur is in Maharashtra. It was the 50th session of the Congress, and this year Congress had registered a big victory in the provincial elections and had formed its government in 8 out of 11 provinces. And one thing had become clear in these elections, that Muslim League does not represent Indian Muslims, because in these elections the performance of the Muslim League was very poor even in the Muslim majority areas. This year an important thing also happened, that Burma and Aden were separated from India, and this was also being done under the Government of India Act 1935. So in this video we have covered all the Congress sessions from 1926 to 1937. Videos are available on Bookstava channel on many topics of history. You can watch them too. If you like this video, then do not forget to press like button, share this video with your friends and subscribe to Bookstava channel to keep watching more such videos. Thank you so much for watching Bookstava.